Welcome back, everyone. I hope you had time to stretch, to walk, to have something to drink. We talked about self-care as one of the must-haves or the must-do as leaders, leading in a time of crisis. Now we want to go right into a topic, and you're seeing it on the screen. 6 key building blocks of a viable NGO. And many of you might say, but listen, we're already up and functioning. That's okay. We need to go back. Ever so often, we need to go back. We need to go back and do some introspection. We need to go back and see where there might be a leak. We need to go back to see what is not working. It means that one of those pillars may have gotten a jab somewhere. One of those pillars just might be leaning somewhere. And so we want to go back today and look at the 6 key building blocks. Maybe it's introspection for you to look at what you started off with, what your building blocks were. Just bear with me a minute. Right, so we know about Gail already, so we can skip that. And let's just press in. Why do we need building blocks? What are building blocks? What do building blocks look like? For those of us who are parents, we're aunties, we're uncles, we're in front of toddlers, we know what building blocks are. We see them playing with those blocks. We know that those blocks, they line them up one on the other. Of course, it's all play, so they come crashing down and they start to build again. But with building blocks for an organization, such as an NGO, once those blocks, once that foundation has been laid, it is designed to stay. It is designed to stay so that the other stratas can come on them and stay as well. It is sequential building. Building an NGO is sequential building. It's not ad hoc. It's not all over the place. It's not that somebody came up with an idea. Oh, let's have this NGO. And we call it Gail's whatever it is, or Mary's whatever it is. An NGO has to be built in a sequential manner. Let me give an example. There's an NGO that I am a part of. It's called the Etiquette Foundation. And this NGO really caters to children and youth, helping them to grow in terms of their professional development, their personal development, their speaking skills, and so on. And it came from an idea. And so it was put out there. Of course, you have your Facebook page, you have your email address, and all the things that we come up with. But guess what? Who's doing the work? Who's doing the work? Who's carrying out the operations? What about the operations? And so this was someone with an idea, a good idea. That was one block. What soon happened with that? Anybody, what happened with it? It's just one leg. Can it stand? Of course it didn't stand. And so you had to go back to the drawing board. Today, you are getting an opportunity to go back to the drawing board where your NGO, your NGB is concerned. Same thing. Sequential building. So we want to dive right in. And let's start. Emotional branding. Emotional branding. Well, we know the word branding is a hot topic now. Everybody's talking branding, branding, branding. What does it mean? It is something that you become known for, that applies to you alone. Whether it be your colors, whether it be the way you speak, the way you deliver, what you stand for, what the vision is, your brand. Some people, when they see, they may see a color blue, they may align it with a particular organization, or they see someone walking in a suit. They align it with a particular person. Long ago, we know there used to be this guy dancing on the tabletop. Right away, it's insurance. Emotional branding. Let's start with those 3 building blocks. Let's start with the passion. Somebody has a passion for a sport. And they feel led. And I'm saying that carefully. You have to be led. You have to have the passion. You have to feel that thing. It's something that goes way beyond. It is something, and I usually ask the question, what would it take to get you out of bed in the morning? What would it take to get you out of bed in the morning? I can tell you what it would take, what it takes for me to get out of bed in the morning time or to respond in the night time. Just what I'm doing. Just what I'm doing. Every opportunity that I'm allowed to influence or to create change positively or to turn around or to help someone to become that exceptional person that they already are, I'm out of bed. That's okay. The food will come. You get me responding. That's my passion. That's how I feel. When you talk about people and development, I'm right there. That's my passion. What is your passion? If you just inherited some organizations, they're not private to that extent, they appoint a board, They run in a particular manner. If you inherited, you may not have the passion. You may not feel the feeling, as we would say. But if that relates, if it ties in to where you are called and what you have a passion for, then it will work hand in glove. But it has to line up. You see, if you don't have a passion for what you are doing and where you are now, I'm bold enough to tell you, you are a square peg in a round hole, get out. If you do not have a passion for what you do and where you are now, you are a square peg in a round hole, get out. Find your passion. Find your passion. Find where you are called and see yourself blossom. Now, I'm not sure if Sportiti will call me back another time, but I put it out there. Your passion has to be aligned. It's part of your emotional branding. And with that passion comes the vision. That's another block. What is the vision? So, okay, so somebody came up with an idea. Let's have a football federation. Let's have a football federation. It's born out of the passion, somebody good. What's the vision? You must have a vision. Long term, where do you see this federation heading? What do you see it doing in the long term? Where is it going? Where are you going with it? And along the line of emotional branding, the third block, what value do you bring? Or do you just like the sound of football federation? Sounds good, right? But there must be passion. There must be a vision. And you have to determine, or you have to roll out what value you bring. If there is no vision, again, I'm bold enough to say to you that your NGO will not last as long as, you know that saying, it will not have a long lifespan. Without a vision, nothing happens. You may start off, but it will fall by the wayside because there is no vision. When we have a vision, it is not just to keep to yourself, but we are required to share that vision with others. And we're going to the next slide. Share the vision with others so that they can buy into it for the vision to be realized by all concerned. Your value determines what people who buy in, what will they get? What substance do you have? Why this football federation? And I just pulled that out of a hat to give an example. So please don't hold me to it. What value? And if there are no value points, shut it down. If there are no value points, shut it down. Now, please, no one go and say that Mrs. Elder-Cummings said to, all right? We're just chatting here, and we're not referring to anything or anyone in particular. So we dealt with those three building blocks. I like this one because this is a tough one. This building block is tough. Relationships. You see, we want to keep everything to our chest. We don't want to share. We don't want to partner. We don't want anyone to steal our ideas. I have news for you. Your ideas are not for you. Your ideas are not for you. You get your ideas, or your ideas didn't come from you. So when you get those ideas are to be shared so that the building and the rollout could take place and people could be better as a result of those ideas. That's the background behind ideas. It's not for us, not to keep to our chest, not to hide, but to share so that they can develop. You may have the idea, but somebody else will have the rollout. And then another person will have the finances. We don't ever have everything. And sometimes we're grateful that we don't always have everything or else. It's about relationships. Forming that partnership. So that fourth block, building block, is to do what? Say to somebody, this is the idea. I want to share it with you. Can you partner with me? Let us put this thing together. Let us form a partnership. Let us build together. Let us form relationships. We need relationships with almost everybody, every service provider, every financial institution. Someone said to me, they deal with a particular bank and they've been dealing with that bank for years and that's it, they're not moving. They're good to go. What was my response? It's not a wise financial decision. It's not a wise decision when you are talking about vision. It's not a wise decision when you're talking about longevity. Why? All the eggs in one basket. You have to look beyond the present and see what is behind the curtain. You have got to look and explore different avenues to meet your needs. Don't stay in one place. So our fourth building block, relationships. And we're going very quickly here because it's not so much about the building blocks, but the application of them. Our fifth building block, support. Support. You are not meant to go this thing alone. As an NGO, you need support. People believe that when you say NGO, there's no money. May I say this word? It's banga. You're struggling. You're operating on a shoestring. Everything needs to be for free. Some people are of that mindset. But an NGO is designed to be a viable entity, quite viable. An NGO, if properly designed, can and oftentimes is an income earner. An NGO can stand on its own. What makes the difference is the support team. What makes the difference is the support team. You get the right support. You attract the right support. And that's why those are the presentations. Those are the sessions that you would have engaged in for the last few Thursdays would have helped to build you, help to build your organization in terms of the way it looks, how you match up in terms of the legality, being legal, being financial, all your structure, having all your structure in place, because it is an organization. And because you want support and you need support, you must have the correct structure. So I'm really hoping that when you sat in on those sessions, you took the information and you have begun to implement, to get your structure in place. Because when you step out now on your brand and you want support, the very first thing they are going to look at how you operate. They are going to look at how you operate. They are going to determine if to take you seriously or not. So you have to be careful when you are attracting support. If you meet with someone, a prospect, and there's an agreement, maintain your integrity. Maintain your integrity. Let us not encourage that culture where we say things like, it's the public service, you know what I expect? That's a culture that's been encouraged. It's an NGO, we have no money. You're richer than you think. You are richer than you think. And if you want people to buy in and give you that support because you are not meant to go this journey alone, then you have to be straight up. You have to be straight up. Get your nuts and bolts together so that you attract the right support. There are people, there are organizations out there outside of your parent organization. If you are connected that way, there are private sector organizations willing to support your NGO, but their hands are tied. Why? Because of what you present and how you present it, starting with you. And I kid you not about this. Leaders, I kid you not about this. If you would only take a different approach, because you know that this is not for you to go alone. You know that there is a vision. You know that there is a passion. You know that you are going somewhere with this. You know that you bring value. You are certain that this thing can work. You are certain that you can add value not only to the community, but also to those under your charge, whether it be the football, the tennis, the netball, whatever sport it is. There is no doubt in your mind that this can be a viable entity. Then the support will come. But you have to change the way you present your brand. We're talking building blocks. We're talking about key building blocks for you to become viable and to stay that way. You know, sometimes people get to that state or that stage and then they come right back down. But they used to be doing so well. I wonder what happened. Mismanagement happened. Mismanagement happened. Systems crashed. Passion disappeared. Lack of vision. Any of those, take your pick. But I declare you are not so. You are not there at all. Some of us get to a point and we stop. Thank you, Sherry Ann. Reynaldo. Agree. So we're making some kind of sense. Our last building block, and this is sometimes challenging for some people. You get to a stage, you think you have arrived, and you stop. You stop getting in the know. You stop the learning and the growth. You get fat. I mean complete with the tummy. Now for sure, Sport TT isn't going to call me back. But we get fat. We get comfortable. We are now in a director's chair or a CEO's chair. And we stop staying in the loop. We stop getting in the know. We stop equipping ourselves. We stop the learning. We stop the engaging because things seem to be happening. We are going places. We have teams. Money is coming in from maybe from the government or whoever it is because a partnership, you had an agreement and maybe you have a 5-year partnership or whatever it is, 5-year agreement. But that 5 years comes to an end. Remember in the last presentation, nothing is constant, always subject to change. Governments change, right, y'all? Governments change. Things change. One administration agrees to something, another one comes in and scraps the entire thing. But that's not our business. Our business is to stay in the loop. Our business is to get in the know. What's trending? What's the latest in this? So that what? You go back, value. When you increase in your value, when you increase in value that you bring to those under your charge, when you continue with your learning, when you continue to expand in forward thinking, it's easier for people to buy in. People gravitate towards you and what you have. Because why? They see you as valuable. Don't you have a responsibility to those teams, to those athletes? Yes, we do. Yes, we do. And that's why you need to stay in the know. That's why you need to keep on excelling and growing in your knowledge base, in your offerings. Staying one step ahead. What is being done in this area? What's being done in that area? And stay in the loop. Stay in the loop, stay positioned, get in the know so that you would attract not only other team members, but investors. You will attract investors. Investors they help NGOs to stay open. How can you do that? getting in the know. Don't sit and get fat. Using yesterday's material for today. 2020 is out of the door. What we used to do then, some of the things we used to say and do, and the attitudes we had then, they're obsolete now. We have to get in the know and stay in the loop. Questions, comments, feedback. 6, we're talking about 6 keys. 6 keys to building. Feedback, anybody? Questions? Building blocks. Your vision, your passion, your value, your relationships, support, and staying in the loop. If we have no more questions, again, thank you so much for your time. I truly pray that the learning has taken place, that you will not just gather notes, that it will not just be another workshop, another session that you engaged in, but truly take the information along with all the other sessions that you would have engaged in and use these sessions, use this as a framework to build or rebuild, to sharpen your NGB. Take the time, this downtime that we're in, to pivot your organization, because the best is yet to come for all of us. Thank you so much.